Welcome to the wrap up or roundup video of the self-care summer series. It is a series of videos that I have done these live trainings inside of my health coaching membership called Fit by Bit. And now for the first time ever, this video series, I am bringing it to the masses here on my channel. And so I wanted to round out the recap today with a nice story that has a bow that wraps it all up. But before I do, if you find this video helpful, if you like it, please actually do give it a like and subscribe to my channel and hit that bell to be notified every time I release a new video so you don't miss a thing. And if you are new here, welcome. I am Coach Mack, the founding health coach of Running with Bacon, where I help women feel like themselves again via fitness, one small step at a time. And as I mentioned in the intro, I am rounding out this self-care summer series. And before I get into this nice little story that will put a bow on everything, I want to just do a really quick recap. And this whole playlist is available on my channel. So I will hopefully link that up there. And you can watch the playlist from start to finish, these 4 videos, and then this will be the 5th, the last of the videos. And so I started out by talking about self-care versus self-hate, because often we think our self-care is in our best interest and we're doing it for a good reason. But oftentimes it's actually self-hate disguised as self-care. So we're either punishing ourselves for something, we don't think we're deserving of something, things like that, that we are saying, oh, but it's a healthy thing. So for example, if you punish yourself for what you ate yesterday by running that extra mile, is that really self-care? I think not. And then the next video walked through the possible relationships with exercise. Actually, I went through 2 that are quite polar opposites. One is that when everything is going crazy, exercise is the first thing that drops off your to-do list because it's just not going to happen. It can't be a priority. There's no time. Things are too crazy. Versus the other relationship with exercise where everything's going crazy. And so exercise probably skyrockets to the top of the list because it is what helps keep you sane. Exercise is the number one thing, hands down, the number one thing within our control that affects our entire life, our sleep, our health, mental and physical, our emotions, our relationships, all of those things, our stress levels. It has an impact on every facet of our life. And so if you have a good relationship with exercise or a poor relationship with exercise, it matters. And speaking of relationship, what about your relationship with yourself? And by that, I mean that constant string of thoughts that's going through your head. Is it nice? Is it mean? What are you saying to yourself? Because the conversation that's going on inside of your head is hands down the most influential and important conversation you will ever have in your entire life. And so if you find that you're saying things to yourself that you would not say to your best friend, it might be time to start talking to yourself rather than listening to yourself. And lastly, to round out this series, we talked about your relationship with food, specifically using food as a reward and how that might actually be the equivalent of taking 2 steps forward, 1 step back in terms of your health. So you might end up working twice as hard to get the same result just because of doing that one thing. So admittedly, when I went to do this live training inside of my group, I wanted to sum everything up really nicely, put this beautiful bow on it that would just be mind-blowing. And I was kind of drawing a blank. And then it just so happened a couple days before the training, I was having a conversation with one of the members, and she was telling me about this story that happened to her in spin class. And just like I did in my live training, I'm actually going to use a fake name for her. I'm going to call her Colleen. That's what I called her in my training, because I didn't actually get her permission to share the story. So I'm keeping anonymity. But so just wanted to fill you in on that. This is not a real Colleen. There is a real person, but her name is not Colleen. So this story came from her, and it just so happened it was the exact thing that put the bow on our entire self-care summer series. One morning, it was a Friday morning, Colleen was at her spin class, and the class had been going great. It was a great session. And at the end, there's a few minutes left, and the instructor says, all right, go extra hard for these last few minutes so you can eat that pizza tonight without any shame or any guilt. And Colleen's reaction is kind of twofold. The first one was, screw that pizza. I've been working way too hard to go and just blow it on pizza when I know that it makes me feel like crap. Now, Colleen has done some serious work these past few months, probably even longer than that, if we're being honest, to figure out what types of foods really make her body feel amazing. Inside, outside, all of it, she has done the work. And let me tell you, pizza ain't it. That does not have her feeling amazing. It just doesn't. Now, I'm sure she makes some exceptions from time to time, but a random Friday night or whatever weekend, that's not it. It's got to be some damn good pizza for her to make that choice because she knows how it's going to make her body feel, and it's not good. So that was part number one of her reaction. And part number two was, if I'm going hard, I'm going to go hard for me because I can, because I'm strong, because I'm confident, because I want to freaking finish this class out hard. Just like with her nutrition, Colleen has been moving her body and doing all those types of things physically and consistently, and she has seen massive results. And so she has built up that confidence, that strength, that mentality that I'm doing this for me. So you can start to see why this conversation, this story from Colleen was the bow that I didn't know I was looking for. Well, that's not true. I knew I was looking for a bow. I just had no idea where I was going to find it. And Colleen hand delivered me this bow, this gift wrapped summary of the self-care summer into this one story. And let me be clear, that spin instructor isn't saying anything we haven't all heard a million times. It's that ingrained into us to punish ourselves for something we ate or pre-punish ourselves for something we want to indulge in, things like that. That is nothing out of the ordinary. That is the status quo inside of the health and fitness and exercise industry. However, Colleen's story is the epitome of the self-care summer topics. Sure, self-care can take the form of manicures and pedicures and candlelit baths or a babysitter for date night or what have you, insert thing. But the real point of the self-care summer training inside of Fit by Bit was to help us work on our relationship with ourselves. Because that's really what self-care is all about, taking care of you. And that includes your relationship with you. And just like any other relationship, that takes work. You have to be the type of friend to yourself that you are so good at being to other people. If you are constantly making promises to yourself, like putting workouts in your planner every week and then never doing them, how are you going to think that you're a reliable person? Why would you set goals when you know that you're not going to do the things to get you there, right? It's like a letdown each time you see that workout in your planner and you didn't get to it. It's a broken promise to yourself. And that takes its toll on its relationship with you. So all of these self-care summer topics are aimed at improving that relationship you have with yourself, keeping those promises to yourself, changing the way that you feel about your body, about what it can do for you, the appreciation and gratitude that you have for it. Same thing about fueling yourself, fueling your body. Does that mean you can never eat a piece of cheesecake ever again because it's not proper fuel? No, duh. But it does mean improving that relationship you have with yourself so you are properly fueling it, and then indulgences can happen versus feeding your body a bunch of crap and expecting it to change in these unrealistic ways because you're not even providing it the things it needs. I was listening to an episode of the Jordan Syatt podcast, and a woman described it perfectly. That she said, as long as she thought it was something wrong with her body, she knew she could fix it. You can lose weight, you can lift weights, you can eat differently, all of those things. But when she realized that it was in her head, her relationship with herself, the things she thought about herself, the way she treated herself, it became really scary because she didn't know how to fix that. So as long as it was about her body, and she was mean and judgy and had all these things she didn't like about her body, she didn't have to switch the focus to what's up here. But these self-care summer topics, they're all up here. And that's how you get started switching it. Start with the first video in this playlist and work your way through. Start working on those things, and you will notice a massive, massive shift. I hope you enjoyed this self-care summer series. Stay tuned, more videos to come, and I will see you in the next one.